Expressed are those of the program host and guest and are not those of WSTU. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. The phone lines are open. Call in with your questions and comments at 220-9788. That's 220-WSTU. It's time for Stewart Laser Talk with your host, Dr. Tred J. Rizacker.
I'm 5'10" and 242 pounds.
I always say this is the biggest I'm ever going to be, and I said that 20 pounds ago.
A third of Americans are obese, another third is overweight.
Obesity is the biggest threat to the health, welfare, and future of this country.
I've always been overweight.
I've got diabetes.
Sleep apnea,
Heart disease.
Everything's hurting now.
It's a lot easier to lose weight than it is to keep weight off.
This is probably going to be the first generation of children who are going to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents.
18% of our children right now are obese.
It's not only health, it's about survival and well-being of the United States as a nation.
You don't crave broccoli, and our generation has grown up craving a Big Mac.
I'm going to think that there's something better for me.
Unless we're able to control this epidemic, we're going to have an abundance of chronic disease.
All of us have to be part of the solution to reduce obesity.
The weight of the nation is out of control, but we can fix that.
If we don't now take this as a really urgent national priority, we are all going to pay a really serious price. Obesity will crush the United States in oblivion.
Good morning. You're listening to WSTU 1450 AM, and this is the Slim Body Laser Spa show, which is about weight loss and health and wellness and detoxification and how you can look good and feel good and lose 3 to 9 inches of stubborn belly fat lying on your back listening to music. I really mean that. We are Martin County's, we're Treasure Coast's #1 non-invasive, non-surgical laser body sculpting center. Nobody even comes close. Been here 7 years, right on East Ocean Boulevard, across the street from the Fresh Market, right on the way out to Hutchison Island there in beautiful downtown. I don't know if it's downtown Stewart, but it's East Stewart, not quite East Stewart, but by the beaches. And my process is a non-invasive, low-level laser that we're utilizing to get quicker, faster results with weight loss, basically. My phone number, if you're interested, we have free consultations and a $49 Discovery Day deal, which is always available one time to each person that wants to try it one time. And what the Discovery Day is, it's our first visit of our regular 9-session lipo plan for only $49. I've removed the barriers for you to be able to achieve the look you want at a price you can afford. And the reason for the Discovery Day is it's a way of coming in and seeing the laser, doing a consultation, meeting with me, meeting with my staff, seeing the procedure, looking at all the testimonials, getting a little education about what we do, and then you can actually try the device, try the procedure. You can't expect to have the results that you see online or any permanent results in only one session, because it's a 9-session plan, but it's a great way of removing that I don't know barrier, or I'm skeptic barrier, I'm not sure barrier. It really, really works well. So it's called a $49 Discovery Day. We're located, again, at 2311 Southeast Ocean Boulevard. My phone number is 772-223-5885. I have a toll-free number. It's 1-844-DR for doctor, and then just spell out Slim Body, or 844-377-5462. If you're interested in finding out more about the procedure, more about me, more about what we do, how it works, you can go on the website. It's our slimbodylaserspa.com, and you can see videos about the procedure. There's a contact page there. I also have many of my radio shows that I do here are put on as podcasts. So after we get the radio show, then we go and put it on as a podcast. Then it shows up on my podcast page on my slimbodylaserspa.com site. So maybe there's people that maybe you're listening to it, you've listened to me often, and you said, God, my sister or my friend or someone, could really use this benefit from what Dr. Tred is talking about. They can go on to the website, click on the radio show, and hear the whole show. We also have a blog page, and I have stories on health and weight loss. A lot of the topics that I go over here on the radio each and every week are from my blog. I write a blog every week to get that information out. So we also have a 30 plus videos on our website under the video testimonial. And we also have an area called the gallery. Now, the gallery has lots and lots of before and after pictures, actual clients of ours that have been through the process. And what's important to understand is there isn't a testimonial or a picture that we make available that's more than 3 weeks. That's more than 9 sessions in 3 weeks. Now, yes, we have people that do a lot more treatments than that, but those are called alumni clients. That's aftercare. Our initial 9 sessions in 3 weeks is what we represent for the 3 to 9 inches. And that's really important to know that.
Yeah, and that's great because a lot of other services, you look at before and after pictures and you have to read the fine print and see it's months later or it's a while into the program, whereas yours, it's, hey, you're coming into the program for 3 weeks. This is what it actually looks like after 3 weeks.
And that's because there's no inflammation, there's no swelling, there's no tissue damage in our process. You don't have to heal from the procedure.
Mm-hmm.
The cool sculpting, the safe sculpt, the hot lasers, the liposuction, ultrasound, they all have a damaging effect. They damage the tissue in order to reduce the size of the fat cells. And for that reason, it takes anywhere between 8 weeks to 12 weeks to even 3 months to 1 year to heal from that procedure. So when you look at a before and after picture on the other places, you think to yourself, God, this is like 3 months after the procedure. I wonder if they did a lot of tanning and exercise in between that.
Mm-hmm.
But our pictures are clinical, done, and the 9th session at our office. And the way that we pick out the pictures, by the way, for you who are interested, it's based on if somebody had a great result and they wanted to share it with other people, we ask permission to use that picture. And so there really are clinical pictures. And you can always tell it's a clinical picture because you can still see the little measurement marks on the side, the 3 spots that we measure. And in the very first one, it never has it on there because we don't mark before we take our first picture. They come in and they sign up, and then we take pictures of the area,
mm-hmm.
and then we measure. And then we do a 30-minute treatment, 10 minutes on whole body vibration, and then we remeasure again. And most people the first time will lose a minimum of a ½ inch in those 3 spots or 1.5 inches. Many will lose 2 to 3 inches in that first treatment. And after the 9th treatment, when we take our final post pictures, that's where you see those big results. So you can also check me out on Facebook, of course. We're on YouTube. I have several YouTube channels. I'm trying to correlate those different channels because I made some really nice videos about the procedure. And when I put them on my YouTube site, they jumped on my personal site. So I have to figure this out. If anybody knows, can help me on that, I'd appreciate that. My email is slimbodylaserspa@gmail.com. We have a Twitter feed. And I want to reassure you that there are no side effects with my procedure. This is a healthy experience, something which will improve your health. It improves your appearance. It helps to reduce body fat percentages. So about the BMI. Everybody's heard of BMI, body mass index, the 20%, 25, 30%, 40%. This procedure actually lowers BMI because it's targeting the specific fatty areas. Weight loss does not always target BMI. Did you know that? You can lose weight, but still have body fat because you just lost weight. Our procedure targets the fat specifically, and we help you lose weight at the same time. And it's really, there is no comparison. People like to compare it against the other procedures, the fat freezing or the liposuction and things like that. And the procedure is very, very different. It's a safe, non-invasive gentle procedure that helps you. It releases the calories, and then your body absorbs them and burns them as energy. So each time you come in to do the laser, you lose about 400 to 600 calories of free fatty acid, which is, surface fat. It goes into your system, you metabolize it, burn it as energy. The next day you have an inch lost, and it doesn't go, and that's how you get these inches lost. So it's day on, day off, day on, day off, 3 times a week for 3 weeks. You can lose 3 to 9 inches, and that's measured. So incredibly effective. Lots of people want to do it, but there's nothing that I can tell you that you'll believe more than somebody else's opinion. Someone who's not paid, who's one of our clients that likes to share it. Now, in the last probably 6 years of doing this radio program, I've managed to have at least somebody share their story, 4 or 5 times in a row. Maybe we missed a week or 2, but it's pretty consistent. So there's been hundreds, literally over 100 to 200 people have shared their testimonial on the radio. I myself am the doctor. I'm the owner. And I'm a client of my own procedure. I was 265 pounds with a 40-inch waist, and my blood sugar was out of control. And in 4 weeks, laying on my back, I lost 12 inches of fat, and that would be 4 inches in girth. And then it took me 3 months to eat less, and I dropped 10 pounds a month for a 38-pound loss. I was very happy. My board operator here, Mr. Mike, super morning show with Bonnie, I invited him to come into the spa twice. And each time he lost inches,
inches, weight, gained self-esteem. Had it right before my wedding, and everybody in my family who hadn't seen me in a while was like, "Oh my God, what did you do to look this great?" And I said, lasers.
Yeah, and Mike's young enough where he can still go to the gym and exercise and work out, but the laser's a lot easier.
Way easier.
Right? I mean, you did it in 3 weeks. It would have taken you months.
If
you were successful at all.
Exactly.
So anyway, so we're here. I got somebody holding online. Her name is Faith, and she'd like to share her testimonial. Are you there, Faith?
I am, Dr. Tred. Good morning.
Yay! Faith is calling. They told me you were going to call this morning. I was really happy about that because you're a fantastic presence. When you came in and signed up, I knew this girl is doing something successful in her life. You could just tell. You have that. You exude that confidence. And
thank you.
And I mean that sincerely.
Thank you.
So tell me, how did you hear about the procedure? Tell us your story.
Sure. And so I've heard about it for a number of years through networking events, and I'd seen, at a couple of different shows, I think you were there with your wife, and, looked at the information, and then it just kind of passed through my brain and got busy and went on to other things. And so I went to a charity event and actually won 3 sessions. And then, of course, it sat on my office table for the longest time, and as I was like cleaning up and clearing clutter, I was like, oh my gosh, I have this thing, I really should go.
It looks like it's going to expire, right? It might expire.
It actually did. And so I called in to your wife, and she said, sure, come on in. And so when I came in to see you for the consult, I mean, I had no expectation of what it was like, because I'd never actually done the research to sort of dig in. It's sort of just top of mind at surface. And moved on. But when I came in and did my consult with you, and literally signed up that day and got on the laser table that day, that was how profoundly I was impacted by the information. So when you're talking about that, and I've been so completely educated throughout the process of doing the 9 treatments with you, which, by the way, let me say, I lost over 4.5 inches, in girth across my core. So from 3 areas that get measured, 4.5 inches. Dr. Tred, I don't know if I told you this, I literally had to go out after the 9 treatments and buy a new pair of pants, one size less.
Yay! Now you got 2 sets of clothes. In case you fall off your diet, you can always wear your old clothes.
We're setting the intention that those are going to Goodwill, and we're just continuing moving forward, because I am doing the maintenance program. Right. But in addition to the 4 inches in girth, I also lost 4 pounds in the process as well. And, it's for me, what I can just share from the heart is that if you are listening, you're within the sound of my voice, and you've been thinking about what is the thing that I can do, I just want to encourage everybody to come in for a consult with Dr. Tred. You will not, I mean, even if that's all you did, your life is going to be that much more improved from knowing this man. I mean, he's a wealth of knowledge. He's so caring. He's so dedicated to this idea that no longer should you be plagued by body fat. Right? So if you're desirous of losing fat, you're tired of wearing the bigger sizes that you know it's not your truth. You're tired of just always being so self-conscious, and for me, and Dr. Tred, and I talked about this, I said, I do public speaking all the time. I'm on, stages in front of people. So that confidence that you get from knowing that you feel good, look good, stand extra tall is so important, because then you're not worried about how you look. You're focused on the message that you're giving and really being present to serve the people that I'm there to serve. So I am just such a true believer. I have already given out probably 4 or 6 referrals. In fact, I gave one out yesterday. They're going to come in for consult, because it's just something that everybody needs to know. And again, it's for me, I just want to be able to say, at least I told you. And let me tell you what I've done. I literally now have my folder with my before and after pictures in my car.
That's what they told me. My staff said she has her pictures with her,
in my car. Because listen, right? They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. I mean, I can sit here and wax poetic and tell you how I feel good. And oh my God, that body vibration room. Oh my, if you've never been on a whole body vibration machine, do yourself a favor and get it.
Rejuvenating, energizing.
Oh my God!
Removes fatigue,
osteoporosis, improving your circulation, making your arteries that much more flexible. I literally took a picture of that, and I've been sharing with everybody. I'm so dedicated to this process. But I'll tell you, nothing speaks more volume than pictures. So that's why now, right around town with my pictures. I showed it to a colleague of mine, yes, and literally her mouth fell open twice when I showed the pictures. One person gasped, and the other one, her mouth just fell open. And right then and there, there's nothing else I needed to say. It's like, here's the information. Go for your free consult with Dr. Tred and see what I'm talking about. Because like you said, and I have to stand in my truth as well. I know I am not the gym person.
Right. That was my next. I was just going to ask you that. Do you think you could have achieved this at the gym?
No. Well, first of all, I wouldn't get to the gym. I have somebody gave me like a free week at the LA Fitness. It's still sitting there on my desk because it's not me. I mean, I love to play tennis, so that's kind of like my exercise. But I'm, of course, not going to be playing tennis every single day. But just being able to come in, and then what I loved about it too was it's targeted, right? So you target the area that's most problematic for you, and you just have such a great process. And I love that it's people might think, oh, it's just a laser treatment. That's it. No, it's a whole mind shift, right? Because I love every time I go in, the therapists are always like, what are your 3 habits? And remember, the first couple times I went there, I was like, because I couldn't remember.
What are the 3 new habits we want you to have, right?
Exactly. And so what that does is it's changing your mindset. So now when they ask me, I can just list it off. Weigh yourself every Thursday. Make sure you have a protein shake in the morning, lean and green dinner, and just make sure that you're doing a consistent eating
Weigh
pattern.
yourself every Thursday, once a week. Protein shake to start your day.
Yep.
And lean, clean, and green food. Yep.
Food.
That's great.
It's wonderful. And I am just so overjoyed. The staff is wonderful. Just such loving, caring individuals there. I am forever, grateful that I met you and that I feel like now I'm an ambassador for the program. Not that I get any compensation, but I just love it so much that I just think at least let people know, because like I said, I was never going to get to the gym, and to lose 4.5 inches and 4 pounds in 3 weeks, I would have to be working so hard. And I just know I'm such a busy person. I wouldn't get there. So sometimes people, I can run, I can walk. Yeah, you can do all those things. But the question is, are you going to do it? Have you been doing it? What's going to be different for you now? You weren't doing it before. Why do you think you're going to do it? You need something to sort of short circuit the system. And this is it for me.
And it's also non-surgical. There's no damage. There's no chance of any downtime. There's no chance of any injury. or fat relocation. There's no anesthesia. There's no oozing areas that come. I mean, these are the other choices people have when they don't exercise and diet are very are surgical and more invasive. And what I love about the low level laser is it doesn't hurt and it's no pain. And then when you combine it with common sense food and whole body vibration and detoxification, helping a person to drink just more water, you end up with a perfect storm of health and wellness and body shaping. It's really quite shocking. Do you know, were you impressed by all the testimonials on the walls?
Oh my gosh. It's
320, I think.
It's littered with love letters. I was like,
we
what
call
is
them love
going
letters.
on here?
Yeah, when you go down to the bathroom, the hallway, which we always recommend you pee before you go, right?
Yeah.
They're really funny about that. They're 4 or 5 deep, you know, in rows all the way down the hallway. Yeah, you'd have to spend 2 hours just to read them all.
And the key that I like to remind myself and when I share with people, say, listen, there is no magic pill, right? This might be the closest thing, but even still within that, you have to continue the habits that you and the team train us on. So I can do it and then get the results. And if I go back to eating, you know, more than what my BMR is, which that was
very good. Taught you that one too, yeah.
Yeah,
you listened.
You did.
You paid attention.
Of course. And listen, I was like at your feet. I'm like, fool me. If you go back to the way you were, guess what? That subcutaneous fat eventually will come back. So you can't go waxing and waning and crying like, I did it. And then, 6 months later, well, did you continue to eat well, or did you go back to the bad eating habits? It is just what it is. We're saying research. It's like garbage in, garbage out, good in, good out. If you put good stuff in, you're going to get good stuff. This is a way to short circuit, to kind of put like a new, way forward to get that weight loss going, to get that fat going, and then just the continuation of the habit. This is the key, the continuation. This is the thing that's just going to launch you into, into your new realm, and then you continue to orbit by doing the things and just not overeating. And one of the things for me, Doc, was just I know I needed to be more calorie aware, because you could say, oh, I didn't eat that much, I just had a burrito for lunch, and then but how many calories and how many grams of fat are in? You've got to know. You can't just eyeball it and judge it. So we have to take some accountability and responsibility for ourselves. What are you putting in? It's not just, it didn't look like it was a big portion, but what is the composition of the foods that you're eating? So I know you told me about an app, and I had a couple of apps before. So just even doing the food journaling, which is part of the program as well, just brings you into so much awareness of what you're putting in, because that is the key. If you eat less than what your BMR says is required to keep you alive, right? Calories and energy that your body needs to keep you alive. If you just eat a little bit less than that, that is going to be the key to permanent weight loss. It just is what it's math. It's math.
You got it. You got it, girl. Oh man, I think I'm going to have you do my consultations.
Listen,
could we share how old you are? You're not, in your 20s, right?
No, I'm 50 years old. I just entered my year of Jubilee this year.
And I think that's important for people to realize, because they think because I'm 50 or 60 that it's just impossible. And, I'll tell you what it means is you just need help. It doesn't mean it's impossible. It becomes where you just can't throw care to the wind and ignore certain, you need more training to be successful.
Well, I use as an analogy a lot of times, because I'm a branding coach, and so I use this analogy for people who are like, oh, I'm just going to figure it out myself. I'm going to do my own Facebook ads. It's when you think about elite athletes, you think about like the LeBron James or the Michael Jordan, or anybody they have coaches. Do you think it is because they don't know how to run the plays? Do you think it is because they don't know how to do the free, the free shots? No. But every single person who wants to achieve a goal and maintain it, you need to have somebody who's set apart from you, who can coach you and guide you into the way that you need to be. So you need a health coach or a wellness coach, which is kind of what I put you and the team in, because like I said, it's not just laser in and get out, see you in. It's not like have a call. It's a whole you're in there for an hour. You're in there for an hour, focused on your health, your wellness. You're getting good, healthy, nutritious. Oh my gosh. Thank you for introducing me to those protein bars. 20 grams of protein in these bars that you can have with you. This is the key thing, to have with you in the car, in your bag, in your briefcase, wherever, so that when you need to eat, you're eating. This is the other thing that you told me, and then I'm going to shut up, that you need to be eating, your body only needs like what, maybe 400 or 500 calories.
300 to 400 calories every 2 to 3 hours
to keep you alive. So
right.
and you remember I told you I was
and don't skip that.
I was skipping my breakfast, which is what was sabotaging me. So it's sort of like, I'm not like a big, fast food eater. Why am I still having this, belly fat issue? And because I was skipping my meal, so I'm sabotaging myself, the metabolism is shut down. And then you might go, oh, well, you know what? I didn't have breakfast. So now at lunch, I can double down and eat my, 1,000 calories because I didn't eat 500 calories in the morning. Wrong, because here's what's going to happen. This is what Dr. Tred told me. If you eat a 900-calorie meal at lunch because you didn't have your breakfast, your body only needs 300 or 400 to keep you alive. That's all your body cares about. It doesn't care how delicious it is or what toppings. It says, all I need is 300 or 400 calories. This extra 500 that you just gave me, that's nice. Thank you. I don't need it. Off to storage for fat storage.
Right. Because your body requires that your blood sugar is cleared every 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's the law of when you eat food, it's broken into glucose, and then your blood sugar goes up, and in 4 hours the blood sugar goes down to 100, and that means you're normal healthy. If your body allowed that blood sugar not to be absorbed as fat, then you'd be what we call diabetic. And that's really key, because I did explain that to you, and I took the time to do that because it's important. Once a person understands behind the reasoning why, it's a lot easier to make those better choices.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
In fact,
Completely
I think
agree.
when we get off the phone here, I'm going to go over this about the BMR and these calorie choices, because it's really a pivotal point of anybody that wants to be healthier, to live longer, to even if you're not a client of mine, you can still benefit from understanding BMR and caloric counts and things like that.
Absolutely. That was a huge moment for me. So I just tell everybody, I said, you've only got your one you. You've only got your one
isn't
body.
That the truth?
Right?
And nobody really cares except you.
Except
your mom,
you.
Your mom loves you and your daddy loves you, but the world doesn't.
Listen. So when it comes to the money, because that's always people, it's like, oh, well, quote unquote, oh, it's pricey or it's spendy. Well, I would say, is it worth it? Yes. Is it worth it for your health, because you don't get a second go around. This is it. There's one way out. And if you want to really enjoy the time that we have here on this beautiful planet, then be the healthiest, right? Treat your body as it's a temple and do the things that you to do. We don't take a second to go, oh, this person's coming in for a show. I'm going to go spend $500 for ticket to take my family, or I'm going on a cruise and it's $4,000, whatever. But you're basically saying to yourself, but I'm not worth that. I want to go on the cheap. I want to eat the cheapest food I can find. I don't really want to care about like healthy eats or anything like that. I say reevaluate your priorities, and that you should be the number one on your list, and whatever it takes to get the money to get it done is what I would say. Because literally, like I said, I had no plans. When I went to see Dr. Tred, I was just like, oh, you know what? Let me get my free 3 things and be out.
Right.
That was literally, Dr. Tred, that was my plan. Like, I have it, it's free. Let me do the 3 and done. After I sat with you, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm doing this program, because it just made so much sense. And because I tried so many different things, I had gone, doing like the green smoothie cleanse for 10 days, and I lost the weight, and then here it, came back. And then doing, all this running and all this kind of stuff. But because the thing that I would say is so valuable is sitting and getting educated by you, all the things that we talked about that, were in addition to the program, because that's the key, because I'm not going to be in your office every for 3 days a week for the rest of my life. So I have to be able to be informed and educated and supported with this information as you send me off. And sure, I'm going to be doing maintenance, but it's going to be like maybe once a week or twice. But you need to be able to have the information that you can go survive a 2-week vacation out of what are you going to do? Because the information that you provided me and the rest of your clients, you now are arming us with the really, really good intelligent information and, food awareness and calorie awareness and BMR and all that really good stuff. So I say for me, I have no problem throwing down, a $500, $1,000 on bags. Like I literally have no issues doing that. Why would I hesitate or stutter or stumble when it comes to my body? When is my body not worth more than some, designer leather handbag? Like honestly, like that's how I look at it.
Great. Perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself, Faith. You got a job, by the way. If you ever want to come in and do my radio program, you're more than welcome to. Well, I just,
I'm a huge believer, Dr. Tred, and I'm just forever grateful.
You've had the results too.
Yeah,
it's not just a belief. People say I believe, I don't believe. No, it's results. It really is.
I have my pictures. Anybody who ever sees me on the streets of in the Treasure Coast, if you're like, hey, I heard you on the show, and I want to really, I will have my pictures in my car. I'm happy to show it to you. This is the truth. This is the truth.
Oh, you're the best. I think we're going to be friends for life, Faith. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Dr. Tred.
Yep, and maybe we'll set up another a franchise somewhere in another county, and you can run it.
There you go.
You sound like you're ready.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much. You're the best. So glad that you came
Have a
in.
good day.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. Bye now.
Well, she was great.
I have to cut her off after a while there. She's pretty excited, huh?
Yeah.
It's my show.
I don't know. Maybe bring her in. Might help out. Bring some energy.
Oh, man. To listen to her, and obviously she's a good speaker. She's well versed. She listens. She I couldn't have described it any better than she just did. It's not, when I talk about everything we do, it sounds boastful, and I don't mean to sound arrogant or boastful, because it's my life. And a few things that I would definitely like to point out about that is now is the best time to make this decision. Do not wait until you're worse. Health is not a constant. Health is you're either moving towards health or you're moving away from health. And that's well known and documented. So, if you're sitting on your rump and you've been sedentary and you've been putting on these extra calories, and the doctor has been trying to manage your meds and make them more effective, and that these meds are not good for you, but for now they're okay. It gets worse as you go through life. And either you're working towards being healthy or working away from being healthy. And one of the things that's really important about health and wellness choices is some of the choices that we make are not necessarily healthy choices. They're temporary patches. They're temporary symptom changing, but they're not really good to do for long term. And I would use medicine as an example of that. So you're in your 50s and jobs changed. Your ability to exercise has changed because you're getting older, and maybe an old knee injury has kept you from burning those calories. And you still like to have your alcohol, which is fine, but sometimes you overdo it. And then you're not exercising the next day. And all of a sudden your normal body weight has creeping up 1, 2, 5 pounds a year. 5 years, you're 25 pounds overweight, and your family notices it. Maybe your spouse points it out to you. You're noticing it because your pant size is getting bigger. And next thing you know, you're starting to have symptoms of frequent urination. Maybe you're thirsty all the time. And, one of your friends recently, who's in his early 50s, died from a sudden heart attack, and it kind of scares you. So you go to the doctor and you say, I better get this checked out. And the doctor does a physical exam, does a body fat check, hopefully. And then he says, you're 30 pounds overweight. Your BMI, your basal metabolic index, is about 28 to 29%. Now, 30 is obese. 25 is overweight. And you're what we call pre-diabetic. You're starting to show symptoms of high blood sugar. And that's based on this frequent urination, your fatigue, your lack of, sex drive is libido is dropped down. You're sleeping more. you're using and utilizing food to feel better, to have energy. So you're popping energy drinks when you go by the store. You feel better when you eat. When you don't eat, you feel tired. These are all symptoms of hypoglycemia, hyperglycemia. I'm sorry, high blood sugar. And the doctor says, hey, listen, you got to lose some weight. You got to exercise more. And you say to the doctor, you're right, I do. And in the meantime, I'm going to put you on this drug called metformin. Now, no, you're not diabetic yet, but by taking it early, it's possible that we can avoid this onset of diabetes. And so you're like, well, doc, what does metformin do? What is it? Well, you know what? It doesn't really matter because you need it. Right? The doctor isn't going to tell you much about it because you need it. So you got to get in and look it up yourself. And metformin is a drug that helps you to use insulin. It decreases the sensitivity. It makes insulin work again, whereas before it isn't working. So your cells need insulin to bring glucose in. As you get into type 2 diabetes, even pre-diabetic, your blood sugar is running higher than it should be. So metformin helps to lower blood sugar by decreasing the sensitivity to insulin, makes it work again. Now, the problem with metformin is over time, it can create kidney problems. It affects your kidneys. Some people, it happens quite aggressively. Others, it's a very slow process. But I can tell you 50% of you out there, when you first start taking metformin, you're going to get diarrhea. You're going to get loose stools. And that's one of the common side effects for metformin. And hopefully it'll lower your blood sugar. But oftentimes you need more than just that. You need glucoside, glucotrol, or Ivanka. They have all these other medications. So yes, you're on the meds. And now your blood sugar is a little more balanced. It seems to be working. And you say to yourself, maybe I don't have to lose the weight. You know? I mean, the doc said I need to, and I know I need to, but I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe I'll do it next week. You know, I have a trip to go on. It's a cruise. Me and my wife have been planning this all year. It's a week. I don't want to start a weight loss program before my cruise. And then that cruise turns into, well, you know, I went to do it. I need to get back. You know, in other words, we put it off. Maybe you make a few vain attempts at it. You know, you actually sign up, don't show up, aren't consistent enough. And also weight loss and exercise is tough. It is not easy. It's and it seems like it should be, but you know, come on, if it were easy, everyone would be doing it.
Right.
And so understand that metformin and that glucoside, that stuff you're taking to lower your blood sugar, was to help you while you lose weight and exercise more. And if you have failed to do that and you say, well, I'm okay because my blood sugar is managed with this medication, you are whistling in the dark. You know what that means?
No, I would love to find out.
That's an old term for just whistling in the dark. You know, you're scared, you haven't made the change, so you're whistling in the dark. In other words, you're making a huge error here by not confronting this problem, because the weight has other changes on your body. It changes other parts than just your blood sugar. You know, that metformin, that glucoside is treating the blood sugar issue, yes, but weight creates a high risk of heart disease. It creates vascular damage. It also creates high incidences of stroke when you have a lot of extra weight. Well known, well documented. The other thing that weight causes is it causes joint degeneration, accelerated joint damage. Your body's not made to carry around extra 30, 40 pounds. So that bad knee that you hurt when you were in high school now starts to hurt all the time because of that extra weight, regardless of your successful keeping your blood sugar low. It's more than just that. Over time, these choices, these decisions affect your overall health. And then when you're in your 60s and 70s, you know, your main conversation at the table is, what doctor do you go to? Well, I go to this doctor. Well, he's got me on this. Well, I need to do that. Well, you know, I've tried this new drug. I'm really concerned about losing my Medicare because if I lose my insurance, I can't get these medications I need. I mean, this is what you hear with people. pick up the phone, call my office, Slim Body Laser Spa, meet with me. It's a free consultation. There's no cost for it. Come in and find out. If I cannot help you or I think you need another doctor, I will be the first one to tell you that, because I'm the owner, I'm the doctor, and I'm a client of my own spa. If I sign you up and you are not a good candidate and what you need and what I offer are two different things, then I will be miserable through this process, because you'll be miserable and I'll be miserable, and I don't live my life to be miserable. I want people I can help, and if I can't help you, I'll send you to somebody that can. I recently had a letter given to me, a beautiful thank you card. So one of my clients had come in about 3 years ago, and she did the program and lost the inches, and I hadn't seen her for over 3 years. Now we send reminders and what they call alumni follow-ups. It's a discount for more visits because you've already been a client, and it's a way of initiating and bringing new people in. So she had called up and said, I got your card. I want to come in. I have some issues, and I'd like to come in and meet with you. So she is 82 years old, and she came in and she said, I'm so glad you sent me this. I want to get started today. It was an $880 alumni package. So I said, well, let's see where you are. I haven't seen you in 3 years. And I said, what's going on? She goes, I kept this weight off. Everything was good. And about 4 months ago, I started to gain weight again. And in the last 3 weeks, I gained 8 pounds.
Whoa.
Now, even Mike, who's not a doctor, knows that that's something to go whoa about.
Mm-hmm.
To gain 8 pounds and and then she said, and I'm really not eating that much. I didn't fall into some food, frenzy binge system. In fact, I've been really careful about what I've been eating. I've been seeing the doctor, and I'm like, so what are you seeing the doctor for? And she says, well, he's got me on some, I've been having some swelling, and he has me on diuretics so I can, reduce the body water to help with the swelling. So I said, well, let me take a look. So when I looked at her feet, her ankles, her legs, they were enlarged. They were swollen, which is why the doctor was treating her. So, I am a doctor, primary care portal of entry provider. So I have the skills and the understanding if somebody is, I didn't do a full exam, but I know what to do. And when I checked her out and she told me that, I checked her feet. And when I squeezed very gently her ankles, and what happened is when you pulled your thumb off, it left a pit, like a depression. Now, when you have edema, swelling, and you put pressure on it and hold your finger into it, if you pull your finger off and it pops right back, it's nice and fluid, that's just a swollen ankle. That's just swelling localized to that area. When you have fluid that's in your feet or in your legs and it's swollen and you put pressure on it and it leaves a depression, that's called pitting edema. So there's non-pitting, such as a sprained ankle, and then there's pitting edema, which shows that the fluid is coming from somewhere else and it's leaking down into your legs. So it could be indicative of a liver problem, a kidney problem, heart problems, heart failure, low output, and so on. So the fact that she gained 8 pounds in 2 weeks and she had pitting edema in both of her legs, I told her very, very carefully and with a lot of intelligence, we need to go to the doctor right away. And she says, well, I have an appointment in 2 weeks. I said, you need to go to the doctor today. I said, this edema, this increased weight, I suspect you might be in heart failure. I don't know, but this is what I'm seeing. And she's like, really? I said, I'm telling you, I want you to go to the ER. So wow. Now I'm getting more, not just a doctor. And she says the ER. And I said, it's the best for finding out what's wrong that day. If you go to your regular doctor and they see you, then they have to schedule exams and testing and other places that you go. It can take weeks to find out what's wrong. You walk into the ER at Martin Memorial Health Systems, they got everybody there ready to go. CT scans, they got echocardiograms, they have a cardiologist. It is the best decision than having to wait. And, and I felt that, I mean, she hopefully wasn't going to die on the spot, but that fluid was from that. So she left, called her up. She said she was still following up with the doctors. And then I got a letter from her about 2 weeks afterwards. A big thank you, Dr. Tred. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm in heart failure. The doctor found out on the exam. They're recommending some medication, possibly a pacemaker to help get the heart to beat better, and you were the only one that pointed it out to me. Now, she'd been to other doctors, and I'm sure they knew what was going on, but I saw it right away. And again, she was ready to start the plan. I could have started the plan, got her in, and then sent her to the doctor, but that wouldn't be ethical. That wouldn't be the right thing to do. And so my point is that this is something that we do. It's really about helping you. So my name is Dr. Tred Rissacker, and I am the owner, the doctor, and a client at the Slim Body Laser Spa. We are Treasure Coast's #1 non-invasive, non-surgical laser body sculpting center. And what I've done is I have incorporated a weight loss, common sense, kindergarten level weight loss program. In other words, everything that you probably need for life, you learned in kindergarten. You ever read that book?
I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
Yeah, that was a great book. Hold hands when you cross the street. If you got to go to the bathroom, go. Don't wait. Little things like that. Get sleep. If you're tired, nap. You learn all these things in kindergarten. And one of them, is about food. If you're not hungry, don't eat. If you're hungry, eat. But don't overeat. Eat slowly, chew your food. Your mom taught you that, hopefully. So everything you learn about weight loss is very sane and sensible. So we include that into our laser lipo program. So you pay for the 9 sessions of laser lipo, get those quick, shocking, oh my God results like our friend Faith had. And at the same time, we're going to educate you. We're going to educate you about BMR, BMI, food choices, what happens when you skip meals, your hormones, your estrogen, your progesterone, if you're a female, testosterone, if you're a male. We're going to talk about endoestrogens, things that mimic estrogen, the disruptors, its toxins. We're going to go over a good understanding. And I love to be challenged by my clients for information. I tell people, lean in, man. You're paying this money. I got a lot of information. Lean in and get the most you can from it. And that's what I love about Faith, the girl who just called. She leaned in. She got great results. And as a result of it, my God, she's like a walking encyclopedia about it. She knows more than most people learn, even in my staff.
I think she's motivated to keep it going.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, she's a successful person.
Oh, yeah.
And she's successful in all areas of her life. And now that she had a little training, a little understanding, she will be successful in this too for herself. So I'm open for free consultations, people. If you want to try the laser, we have a $49 discovery day, and you're more than welcome to take advantage of that. It really works that way. Hey, and I will see you next week. Have a great day. Thank you so much.